911, what's your emergency?
Yeah, this is Hank on Old Gray Road.
What is it this time, Hank?
It's old Bigfoot again. He's back. He's just standing there.
You're listening to You Had Me at Bigfoot with your hosts, Tom. Grammar and semantics is funny. And Dustin.
Hello.
Remember, you can always contact the show via Twitter at You Had Me Podcast, on Facebook, You Had Me Podcast, or by email, contact at youhadmeatbigfoot.com. Now your hosts, Tom and Dustin. If you were to have the opportunity to ask a Ouija board any one question, what question would you ask?
I mean, isn't that pretty obvious? I would ask, and hopefully the spirits would know and be able to tell me exactly how many fingers are used by the aliens during the probings.
One would assume that ghosts would actually know that answer, so...
I mean, you would think.
One of these spirits has to have been abducted. I mean, we're reaching into a pile, a bucket of potential abductees who have passed on. Whereas there are we have a limited number, a relatively small number in the grand scheme of things, number of people who have been abducted who are still on this planet. Now, if we're dipping into the pile of the dead, that makes our search a little bit, I think it would make it a little bit more fruitful, give us a lot more to draw from.
Well, and you would think, because when I die, if I come back as a spirit, I am definitely going to haunt some abductions. Like, I'm going to... There's a couple things I'm going to find out for sure, which we kind of already know. I'm going to find out who for sure killed JFK, and if aliens are real, and how many fingers they use during their probings.
In death, you find yourself. All right, so tonight we're talking about. We're just going to jump right in because we have a special guest on our show.
Just stop you right in your tracks.
We have a special show tonight. It's not a special show. It's a regular show. But we have a special guest joining us on the show tonight. We're not sure his name yet. Hopefully it will come forward. But tonight we're talking about the Ouija board and how to use one properly and safely. Dustin has given us a little bit of an edge on this Ouija board to give us an extra piece of information, or an extra piece of equipment that we can use to hopefully get more answers. He's downloaded an app on his phone. What's the app called?
It's just like a spirit box app. It's called Ghost Hunting Tools. But I've used this app before, and
is this the same one?
This is the exact same one. And I've used it before at different locations. I used it at a place where someone had died that I was very familiar with the whole thing, and I got very specific answers. That was what the answers, they weren't. There's no way you asking these questions I would have got these answers, and it just been a coincidence. It was like very specific answers. And while this thing's running, it hasn't said anything, and it just came across the house. In
the very middle of our introduction, which would normally end with a lot of banter and just shooting the breeze, this app said the word house, which we are in a house. So
it hasn't said anything else since.
And that's it.
So
or before that.
And
the funny thing is, Dustin keeps scooting it over by the room.
That's haunted.
He keeps scooting it closer on the table's edge towards that door. So whoever our special guest is tonight, thank you for joining us. Feel free to chime in whenever you have something to
And if I get enough nerve up tonight, I may take that thing in there by myself.
We have our pre-show shot that we take of absinthe, and it usually results in a lot of coughing and involuntary coughing. And tonight we had a bet. Whoever coughed first or at all had to go into that haunted room with the lights off and the door shut. And neither one of us coughed. We were able to suppress it until it subsided. So, welcome to You Had Me at Ouija. We are talking about the Bigfoot tonight. Is that right? Last episode we messed up our names. Tonight we're messing up the title. Yes. You Had Me at Bigfoot. Tonight we're talking about the Ouija board. And how to use one safely, because there is a right and wrong way to use a Ouija board. Is that right?
That's right.
The wrong way to use it would be to use it, period.
Yes. If you believe it. If you believe it.
Yeah, and we are going to do a similar segment that we did with the do-it-yourself exorcism. This one's a little bit less. This one you're more likely to do because you're not necessarily going to stumble upon a possessed body in the middle of a Toys R Us. But with the Ouija board, you can purchase one from Toys R Us.
Yes.
It's
I saw one at Target.
Total novelty item. And
just so you know, the word decided just came across the spirit box.
Decided.
So we've gotten house and decided. This is going to be a fun show because we're going to be talking about the Ouija and breaking in with different...
Yeah, and, hopefully we'll be able to decipher what they're referring to with decide. What did we say anything that, or have we talked about anything that would work with?
I mean...
Let's play detective. Ghost detective.
Maybe it wants us to play with a Ouija board.
Oh, well, we may be in for a special treat later. Well, let
me ask you, is there a Ouija board in this house?
Let's ask the ghost.
Is there a Ouija board in this house? If it said yes or no, that'd be wild. Okay, we'll come back to it. If something else comes across, I'll break in.
He's working up the courage to respond. Or the energy.
But here's what's funny about this, just while we're talking about this thing. The place that I've used this at gets a lot of activity on this. Like, it seriously is like constantly going off. And it's only gone off twice. But I'm telling you, like, where I've done it before, it's like constantly spitting words out. Boom, 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 boom.
Huh. What's funny is the place that you're referring to, which we can't talk about because for various reasons, but the place where you're talking about using that app,
yeah. I
used another app and was actually able, and it was the only place that I've used it where I actually got any kind of activity. Yeah. It was a ghost hunter app where it would show like a picture of a ghost if you were within proximity of a ghost. And it was in that location that I had it. And everywhere else, I've never had any kind of experience with it. So it's weird how these apps sometimes work. I don't know how they work.
Well, because I think at the end of the day, and I'll explain it in that way. If there's any spirits, they can understand how to use this. They can manipulate the words in the database.
Is that right?
Yeah, there's like a 2,000 word database in this thing. And they can manipulate the words. I just got green. Green just came across.
Green.
But it can manipulate the words.
What was the color of the drink that we did a shot of?
Green. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, you don't know because... But what's crazy with these...
look up in front of you.
Oh, I know.
What's the biggest part of your
green.
POV? It's
green.
Yeah.
There's a big green flag in front of me. I mean, I don't know. It's pretty wild. I've just gotten some... Like I was telling Tom, at this particular place, the person who died, I asked what the name was of this person, and it immediately told me. Like, that's pretty nuts, man. So, we'll see. So, anyways.
Let's talk about the Ouija board. Let's start out with what it is. Because some people maybe there's a small portion of our audience that doesn't know what the Ouija board is. And the Ouija board it's often called the spirit board. And sometimes called the talking board even. But what it is it's a means of communicating with spirits. Which spirits is kind of like your broadest definition, your broadest term for some kind of paranormal entity or whatever the case. And that can actually include demons. And that's the problem with the Ouija board that we're going to talk about, the goods and the bads of the Ouija board. If you were to use the Ouija board, you know, there are good ways to use it. Some people do maintain that there is some usefulness to the Ouija board as far as positive interaction. And at the same time, you can also use it in a very negative way. And a lot of times, these... I always like to equate it to, you know, if you're trying to talk to a pleasant spirit, a nice, friendly entity or whatever, and you might be having a positive experience, and you kind of open the door with this spirit board. The problem with using this Ouija board is you open the door, period. Now, if you imagine you come to your front door and you can see through it and you see a little kitten and you say, well, that is a cute little kitten. He looks like a sweet little animal, no harm. It can't do me any harm. And you open that door to play with that kitten. What you don't know is what other things might come in behind it or what might barge their way in. And then all of a sudden the Cujo dog comes tearing in. You can't control that thing. Yeah. But that's the problem, is you open the door with these spirit boards. Now, again, with the do-it-yourself exorcism, that was, I mean, we had a lot of fun. But if you are an untrained person trying to perform an exorcism, you're asking for trouble. And you can potentially get hurt yourself or hurt the person that you are trying to exorcise. So the Ouija board, the flat out the definition is it's a flat board marked with letters of the alphabet, the numbers 0 to 9, the words yes, no, hello, and goodbye, along with various symbols and graphics. It has a small heart-shaped piece of wood or plastic called the planchette. Participants place their fingers on the planchette and it is moved around the board to spell out words. It's kind of like a Band-Aid. When you say Band-Aid, the term that you're actually looking for is an adhesive medicated strip, because Band-Aid is actually trademarked by, it's actually a trademark name. But so that's the same thing with the Ouija board. The Ouija board is a term that is coined and actually trademarked by Hasbro, and that's the one that you'll see in Toys R Us. The other ones, I mean, are just called spirit boards or talking boards or whatever. What do you got? Have you ever messed with the Ouija board?
One time.
Tell your story. Let's hear about the Ouija board.
This is where I've never had a positive thing, or like, when I used the Ouija board, I was in high school still, and I was like on a overnight something, and we were in a hotel room messing with it, and well, the thing just said shrieking. We all had our hands on it, and I don't know, it was one of the dinky little plastic ones. Nothing happened, so if anything, we kind of made it move ourselves a little bit, just trying to scare the girls and stuff. But I've never done like a real Ouija board, like where I've taken it serious, because I do think that they can be taken very serious. I do think that if you sit down with the idea that you're going to take it serious, it is something spirits could use to speak with you. I mean, look, the Zuzu demon.
Oh boy!
I know you don't like talking about it, but
we're jumping into dangerous territory here.
The Zuzu demon likes to, is notorious for speaking through the Ouija board, or the spirit board.
Well, he doesn't even have a Wikipedia article.
Oh, come on, Zuzu.
You gotta be careful. Every time you say his name, he gets a little bit stronger.
I know.
Oh, this one's not even opening up.
He's gonna come at me like a spider monkey.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew and spirit boards.
Or it's not Zuzu, is it Zozo?
Well, and that's...
See, look, you pull him up, and what's right there a picture of?
A Ouija board.
A Ouija board.
No, a spirit board.
A spirit board.
We're going to get in trouble for using the name too many times.
is the ZOZO. He comes through the spirit board a lot.
And it's funny because if you look, it's not funny, it's actually terrifying. If you watch videos of people using the Ouija board and strange possession video, or like strange spirit board videos, if you watch them, there are a couple on there where they try to make contact with them, and I had never heard of them before.
Yeah.
And I started watching videos about it a little bit ago, or a few days ago rather, and I thought, because I don't like scary stuff. I don't. I'm just a host on a show about it. But I won't. At a certain point during the day, I don't like to look at scary stuff anymore because I'm like, I used to have a rule where I wouldn't watch scary movies after dark, but now I've gotten past that. And I was watching videos on YouTube.
You turned 21
because no, 31. I was actually thinking. I thought, and this is not the first time I've thought this, but this is the first time.
Adam, the name Adam just came across the thing.
I wonder if that's his name.
Could be.
Whoever that is.
Is that your name, Adam? Okay, back to what we're talking about.
No, it's not the first time that I thought about it, but I thought surely there'd be a video on YouTube of, in a world where everyone has a camera phone, whatever, and they're doing these weird things like demon possession, demon worshipping, Satan worshipping, witchcraft, Ouija boards, all that sort of thing. I thought surely somebody will have a good video on YouTube of something definitive that I can be like, oh wow, that's crazy. But they did they respond? Oh, but I started looking at, that's what got me onto the Ouija boards, because there really isn't anything definitive about demon worshipping or Satan worshipping on YouTube of anything substantial where you can be like, oh wow, that's a real thing. But the Ouija board videos are some real interesting ones, and one of the ones that threw me off and kind of like messed me up a little bit was they were using the Ouija board and they asked who they were talking to, and it said Z-O. And then it just kept going back and forth from Z-O.
And that's, like, if you... was this a guy doing this?
Nah, it was a chick.
Okay, so this is going to go even better. Because I've seen multiple videos of the spirit board being used where they've made contact with the Zozo. And that's what it does every time.
Yeah, it always goes, and then the planchette goes crazy.
There's an episode of Ghost Adventures that just came on... like maybe last season, where the dude's doing a lot of spirit board session. Boom.
Yeah.
Zio. And then he like got possessed.
Yeah, that's what happened to the chick too. She started laughing.
Happens. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I don't like to mess around with the spirit board at all, because you never know. Like, you never know when that Cujo dog's going to come through the door when you're trying to pet a kitty.
Hold on.
Don't tell me.
What's in your backyard?
A lot of things.
Okay. Would you consider that hollowed ground?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I'm telling you, dude, like, that's pretty... for those who don't listen to the show in the past, Tom's house is literally against an Indian burial ground. And we just got hollowed.
But yeah, that's why you never know when that Cujo dog is going to come through the door on you. And that would be my biggest fear, is as soon as that planchette started going towards Z, I'd be going towards the goodbye. which
this thing says Zozo.
Oh, that's what I thought it was going to say when you started to turn around.
If that thing said Zozo, we'd just disconnect and be gone. Take a month off of recording.
I would have to move.
Move it to my house.
But so this fella, this Zozo fella, says for the last few years there have been a growing interest in Zozo, the supposed demonic entity that is oftentimes depicted on paranormal reality television shows, as having been conjured up by using the Ouija or spirit board. Little has been written about Zozo throughout the decades, yet the reports range from the 1800s to recent days. People from across the world are claiming to have come in contact with someone or something calling itself Zozo. So what or who is it? You know what I'm curious about now is I would love to hear from somebody who has contacted him. You know what I mean? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, because have we seen anything? What happened to that guy on Ghost Adventures after that happened to him? Is he around still?
Yeah, he's still around. He's like some kind of... We have to look it up.
Because I'm curious as to, like, if there's not a whole lot written about this character, like, what are these people who have encountered him? What have they said about him? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that website was garbage. Mark that as a one Bigfoot. Because it didn't have anything on it. It just asked a question, and I'm asking it a question. Let's go to Yahoo Answers. This is a font of internet wisdom. This little chickadee here says, some people say that Ouija boards contain a demon, and he goes by the name Zozo.
See, that's what my understanding is, that Zozo is kind of like the spirit board demon. Like, he's good at Reddit, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, and then, like, the best answer... Oh, whatever.
Can we agree that this show's going to be a Ouija/Zozo show?
I think it should be just a Ouija in general, but, I mean, he's obviously a big part of the Ouija community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or the Ouija, whatever. Oh. Somebody named their dog Zozo. That's
stupid.
Yeah.
The spirit box said showers.
Huh.
Maybe it's telling us to take a shower.
You know what? I didn't take one. Well, I took one last night, and then I went to the gym this morning, and I didn't take a shower
I
afterwards.
thought you smelled kind of funky.
Yeah, no, it's me. If you,
I haven't had a shower all month.
Let's see here. Okay, so this character on Reddit, under No Sleep, says, never contact Zozo on a Ouija board. They put a Q instead of an O. So, off to a bad start. That's like starting a race, like when they shoot the starting gun and your sneaker blows out. You know what I mean? Like, you're off to a rough start, and it's not going to get any better, I don't think. Hey guys, my name is Veronica, and I'm 17.
Hey.
I've lived in the same house for 9 years now with my parents and my brother, but I'm not sure I ever want to sleep here again. I'm so scared. Let's see. My house is 280 years old, Victorian.
Jesus Christ.
Late that night, we decided to play the Ouija board. We thought it would be a funny way to pass the time, make a creepy fake video out of it, so on and so forth. And she says, are there any spirits here with us? We would love to talk. Started moving. Planchet wasn't moving too fast, but it was at a steady pace. It just started in a figure 8 motion. Okay, what is your name? We asked again. Quickly started to move to the...
Z.
Yeah, and then to the O, and to the Z, and to the O. And it would do this over and over again. It didn't stop until I said Zozo. The planchet started moving for a long 5 seconds and then slowly inched its way to yes. Oh, did I forget to mention that we thought it'd be a fun idea to do this in the basement. The basement is basically just cement walls and floor, dirt, and boxes everywhere.
Which, when you talk about items that hold spiritual energy, dirt and concrete, rock, that's your money maker, son of a bitch. It just said 6. I never like when it comes across with 6, man. Okay, going on.
And then, are you a good or bad spirit? The planchet just circled yes. I jokingly asked, what are you, a demon or something, and laughed until the planchet said yes again. The smile on my face quickly faded away. The breathing got really heavy. It felt like something put on a pile of bricks on my chest. Are all demons bad? Lead asked with a paranoid and shaky voice. It circled yes again. Are some worse than others? It circled yes. Are you worse than others? This other chick asked. The planchet didn't move for probably 10 seconds, but it felt like forever.
It just said show. I just want to point something out right now. We're talking about demons, and this thing just said 6.
Yeah. Huh?
And then it's talking about, you're describing like what was witnessing. It just said show.
show.
I mean, that's what it's saying right
Well, that's
now.
what we're on. We're on a show right now. We're talking.
Well, that's
we're
true
doing a
too.
show.
But this thing's freaking me out now. But continue on. Whatever it's like and what we're talking about, because this thing's like getting all kinds of crazy readings and stuff.
So then it says that some are worse than others. Are you worse than others? And then it went to yes. And then they blew, and one of our candles blew out. Lead screamed, and I said, "Don't take your hands off. We can't leave this thing without closing it." But she yelled, "F that, let's go," and stood up. She grabbed my arm and pulled me up, slammed the door behind us. So then crazy things started happening. So that's, I think we should actually move into how to, while we're talking about it, I don't want anyone to turn it off and say, "Hey, let me go grab a spirit board." So let's talk real quick before we go any further about how you got to use a Ouija board if you're going to use it. I mean, I highly recommend that you don't ever use a Ouija board. I won't at this point, but if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. You know what I mean? And there's nothing I can do to stop you. I'm just some guy on the internet. So you got to find the right environment is the first thing you got to do. Okay, and you want to find a quiet place with no distractions. Places such as, and this website actually recommends ponds, rivers, or lakes, or inside a cave even. Although I think like doing it inside a cave would be pretty spooky. I mean, if you're gonna do it someplace fun or someplace nice and pleasant.
I definitely have a project for the You Had Me at Bigfoot, whatever.
What do we got?
We should go to Mammoth Cave and do like an overnight, because you can like do an overnight Mammoth Cave and just do a bunch of spiritual shit.
If you pull out a Ouija board while we're there, it actually recommends to use a place with happy memories, especially for you, like a garden, gazebo, or where you got married, and places where you feel safe or comfortable. And it specifically says here, aside from a living room, den, or kitchen. And that kind of goes into what I was about to say. You don't ever want to use a Ouija board in your home. It is evening.
It is evening.
Thank you.
Nor do you want to use a spirit box in your home.
You've opened up a gateway into my home, and I appreciate that. But no, you never want to use one of these in your home because it
is a portal. It literally can be a portal.
Yeah, sure. And a lot of people, if you do it at your house, I mean, you're asking for trouble. And you never want to use one in a graveyard.
Why not?
Well, it says here, haunted places or spooky places where people have died is also a bad idea. You might think it's cool, but you're only asking, and here, it's this website actually says...
But do people die at graveyards, or is that just where they go?
No, and that's what always kind of got me when I was a ghost hunter, is people would say, "Why don't we go to the graveyard?" And I said, "Why?" And they're like, "Well, for whatever reason, it's scary or whatever." I'm like, "But that doesn't make it haunted."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because
sure,
you
there's
would
a
think,
lot of...
like, when I die...
I'm not hanging out.
I almost said if I die, but it's
it's inevitable.
When I die, if I do get to haunt this earth, if whatever spiritually you end up being here, whatever the reason is that your spirit's still on this earth, I'm not going to be in the graveyard hanging out.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to hang out with my body. You know what I mean? Like, even if...
I mean, if anything, you're going to find nothing but bad. If you're running into a spirit at a graveyard, it's demons, man. That's not...
Because I would think that they're drawn, and I think, you're more likely to contact an evil spirit in this sort of a place, and that's something that you want to avoid, is what the website says. Yeah. As if I need a website to tell me that I don't want to be in contact with an evil spirit.
Sure.
But I think that would be a good place for them to go, because that's where, like I said, a lot of the people were like, let's go to the graveyard, because it's spooky, it's scary. You're going to draw a lot of unwanted attention if you're going to these places. And, I mean, if you're looking for a lot of traffic in that particular field and people who are going to listen to you and pay attention to whatever it is you have to say, you're going to go someplace where people are looking for that sort of thing. The next step is to consider cleansing the space around you. That's to get rid of the negative energy that might attract bad spirits. Site recommends quartz crystals around the board, light black candles to absorb bad energy. What did it say?
Nothing.
I was going to say, please don't say candles or something. Burn lavender incense, which will attract nicer spirits. And it says here, just for clarification, it says black candles absorb bad energy, and white candles attract good energy. So that's a fun fact for you.
Maybe this is coincidental, but earlier I said when I die as a spirit, what 2 things I'm going to figure out.
Yeah, how many fingers, and gosh, I forget what the other thing was.
Who killed JFK?
Oh, that's right. Kennedy. So the spirit box just said Kennedy, which is, well, ask him. Maybe he knows.
Who killed JFK?
It's going to say LBJ.
That'd be crazy if it said like Lyndon or
Something.
Johnson.
Yeah. Alrighty. And then you can also draw a circle around the board using some sea salt down by the seashore. Consider cleansing your board, especially if you've not used it for a while. So if you have to bust out your Ouija board, maybe...
So I get my sipping water and my sponge in?
No, it says light some incense on a bundle of sage. Let the smoke cover the board and pointer. Draw a circle around the board using your finger or wand, then light a black candle. The candle will absorb the negative energy. Next, close your eyes and imagine a bright light. After a moment, open your eyes and blow out the candle. Discard it or bury it. Draw a circle around the board again using your finger or wand. And then sprinkle some rose water over the board while saying a simple protective prayer. You can even make up your own. Here's an example of a protection prayer. I clear this space of all negativity. I clear this space of the energy of...
If you just died right now, I'd walk away.
Did I scare you? Were you a little bit concerned?
Well, at first I'm looking at you like, oh, he's playing. Then I'm thinking, well, if he's not playing.
Like in the middle of a protection prayer.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to do.
I look over and I see like the fingers like pressing it on your throat.
I clear the space of all negativity. I clear the space of the energy of people or things that have no purpose in this household. I ask that this clearing be gentle and that all of this energy be returned to its source. So that's how you prepare for the Ouija session.
And you gotta close it out.
That's the thing. I mean, we're going to get to that ultimately, but if you're getting ready to turn off your podcast so that you can run and play with a Ouija board or a spirit board or a talking board, heed Dustin's words of wisdom here. Say goodbye. Make sure you close out your session.
You have to say goodbye, because if you don't, you're just leaving a portal open.
Yeah. You gotta shut the gates. Oh boy. So.
It just said pour.
Pour?
Mm-hmm. P-O-O-R. Like pour.
Like the first syllable of portal?
Sure. Which would be crazy.
Alright. Setting the right mood.
Is there a portal in this house?
If it says my name, that would make a lot of sense. Or trunk. It'll say trunk.
Yeah. Where are you at in this house and why are you here? All right, we'll leave that question out there and see if it answers.
Use the board when you're in a good mood. Don't try to use it if you're feeling angry, annoyed, or depressed.
What if you're always angry, annoyed, or depressed?
Well, then that's your norm. So you'd have to be more angry, annoyed, or depressed, I think. Right? Because, like, if you're, like, consistently a scumbag, or, like, consistently grouchy, I think that's your norm. Like, but yeah, if you're in any of those moods, I think the spirit board is, treat it like you would alcohol. As like a mood enhancer.
So abuse the shit out of it.
Yeah. if you're the hosts of this show, most definitely treat it like alcohol. Just abuse the hell out of it. But no, use it like it would be like a mood enhancer, because those emotions can be intensified, and spirits can feed off of that energy. Actually. May also want to avoid using the board if you feel anxious or scared, because an evil spirit can try to use those fears against you.
That's what I love about like any ghost hunting or anything, don't be scared. You can't be scared. Bullshit, man.
Buddy, if I see something real nasty, you better believe.
If you walk upstairs right now and leave me down here in the dark, I'm going to be a little scared. You know what I'm saying?
Of course,
Like,
naturally.
safe. It just said safe.
Well, good. Good to know.
Like, that's pretty cool. We're talking about being scared down here. And
Look, now don't freak out. All right.
I don't freak out.
But I know we were just talking about you being scared if I leave you down here. I feel like I have various attachments from my ghost hunts.
Yeah.
It's very possible that this is one of the many ghosts who have attached themselves. So he may be a very friendly. I mean, he doesn't bother me. I mean, I don't have really any issues with any of the spirits that hang out with me or follow me around. So if this is one of what does it say?
No, just safe.
But if this is one of those ghosts, and I mean, I wouldn't be too concerned about that. But yeah, safe. Maybe he's just letting us know, hey, we don't have to worry about that one.
Which is just funny because I'm talking about being down here. Again, some of the things that comes across this thing it just seems like it's too.
It's not a coincidence.
Like it's
you know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, welcome to the show.
We already welcomed him.
Well, because you've gotten EVPs, what you've heard, right?
Yeah.
While recording.
It was on the Matt Squatch. Remind me when you text me later, remind me, and I'll go into the Matt Squatch episode, because I did pull it aside, and I listened to it. I thought I had another one from the Wendigo episode, but it was actually, I think it was just your stomach gurgling. Because I listened to it like a bunch of times. I'm like, man, that is weird. That's like a weird growl. You know what? It starts with like a. I was like, oh no, I think that just.
So what do you think the other one said?
I don't know, and I'll have to double back because again, I was only there to get something for the Wendigo episode, so I wasn't there to start farting around with the old clips. I think I was actually just looking for something to use for the intro. Do not use the Ouija board if you are feeling sick or tired. This will make it harder for you to focus, and it also makes you an easy target for bad spirits who may take advantage of the situation and possess you.
That's the last thing I just said. Bottles. The screen's going clear, but it came across bottles if you look at the word history.
Huh. Go back.
That's all the stuff we've gotten. Isaac? Who's that?
James's middle name.
Shut up.
And we were talking about...
See, I haven't been saying all the names that have come across because I'm like, whatever.
Yeah. That's James's middle name.
That's funny. And we were talking about him around that time, too.
Yep.
Huh.
Go into the session with good intentions. Don't use the board in order to spy on someone or learning his or her weaknesses. Also, don't use the board to ask the spirit to possess someone or make his or her life miserable. Revenge may sound like a good idea now, but it will bring serious harm to both you and your victim. That would be fantastic. Oh, see, we shouldn't be messing around with a Ouija board because it says do not use drugs or alcohol before or after the session.
Yeah, I've done a lot of coke and drank a bottle of whiskey tonight.
Yeah. This will make you less aware of your surroundings and be very dangerous. When dealing with spirits in spirit world, you want to be focused at all times. That should go without saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean...
Uh-oh. Speaking of Isaac...
It just said tear.
Like T-E-A-R?
Yeah.
Or tear.
Hello.
Or tear.
You're on the air.
You're on the air.
Hi, you're on the show.
Hey, so you're not going to believe this. We're doing this Ouija board episode, right?
Yeah.
And instead of using a Ouija board right now, we figured we'd get an edge and use this Ovilus box that Dustin has on his phone, which he's had really good experiences with. Remember back in Wisconsin when we had that ghost box? And
yeah.
But yeah, they but we're using like this Ovilus box.
Dude, I swear to God. Okay. So that window's open, and I keep feeling like I'm getting a cold rush behind me.
Yeah.
And I'm in my head thinking, God, I keep feeling this cold draft. Look what the fuck it just said, dude.
It says field draft.
And I'm not kidding, dude. Like, I'm sitting there going, because I keep feeling this coldness come across my neck, and I'm like, but I'm kind of turned, right?
Yeah.
But I keep feeling this, and then I look, I'm like, well, that window's open, but I'm trying to, like, in my head, because I don't want to say to you, dude, I keep feeling these really cold spots, and it probably is just that window, but in my head, I'm thinking, like, I'm feeling this cold draft come across me. And this is what it just said. It just said, feel draft.
So, it's been very interesting, some of the things that we've gotten from this box, right? And earlier, Dustin was showing me these, he was showing me some of the words that have come across it, and some of them he didn't tell me. And we had been talking about you at one point, by your first name, of course. And he showed me this list, and I happened to see a word that he didn't tell me when it came across. It said Isaac.
What?
Yeah, and it seriously would have been, it came across right around the time we were talking about you.
Because it was like midway down the list, and I happened to see it, and I was like, wait, go back to that? And we scrolled back, and I said, I pointed at the name Isaac, and I said, do you know whose name that is? And he said, who? And I said, that's James's middle name. And he said, we were talking about James at that time.
Well, how was it spelled?
How do you think?
Same way as mine's spelled?
Yeah, 2 A's.
Yeah, ISAAC.
It was me, guys. I have a confession to make. I died on my way home from a meeting earlier.
But yeah, we were,
This has got me, I'm telling you,
Dustin's
dude.
all stressed out right now.
Oh my gosh.
How many Bigfoots do you give it?
Oh, this thing right now.
This thing's getting 5.
It's getting 5 because
no
we're
way.
actually getting some, like, pretty good stuff. Oh my goodness.
Get the heebie-jeebies?
Yeah, because I seriously was just sitting here thinking, like, I keep getting this cold draft across my neck. And then it said that.
But yeah, we're talking about the Ouija board. Right now we're doing the do-it-yourself Ouija.
Well, it's a good thing you guys covered do-it-yourself exorcisms before Ouija boards.
Because you're going to need it to do this Ouija
It's an easy
board.
way to get possessed by a demon.
Yeah. We actually already have talked about Zozo already. Hey.
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 It just said, hey. Hey.
Ouija.
Hey, can you ask the Ouija board where my debit card is?
Oh, spirit of the great Ovulus.
Where is James's
Debit card.
I swear, if it says anything about Texas or Roadhouse, I'm gonna
It'll say
freak
cinnamon
out.
roll, or it'll say cinnamon bun.
Or no, Burger King. If it says Burger King, I shouldn't have told you guys that, because now you're gonna. I would have loved for you guys to just be like, that's weird. It just said burger. It just said cheeseburger.
It says royal meat. All right, let's continue talking about this before anyone tries to turn this off and get into the Ouija board without having all the information that they need. And then they're like, well, you had me at Bigfoot told me I could do such and such. Consider cleansing yourself spiritually before using the board. You're going to want to meditate. Try and envision yourself surrounded by a bright light.
Kate Upton. Never mind.
With, say, a prayer of protection. We already did that. Take an herbal or salt bath.
So, don't smoke the herbal.
It did say something about crystals earlier.
Herbert.
So you can smoke the crystals, right?
Get on that bath salt.
So it says here, I'm to understand, and this is coming from, Tom Miller, Bigfoot guy. But I'm by no means an expert on the Ouija board, but I always thought you couldn't play the Ouija board one player.
Yeah, I didn't think you could either. Yeah, well, no, you can, because that guy, well, no, you can't. I don't know.
Huh. Because it says here, always use the board in a group and never alone. This is for safety reasons. In case something happens to you and you are unable to end the session, it is also for practical reasons.
It just said enough.
Enough? Mm-hmm. So one is enough?
Which app are you guys using?
It's called Ghost Hunting Tools or something.
Oh, okay, that was the other one. I'm downloading one right now.
But it like pretty much spits. It's like a dictionary of words that spirits can use to come through with.
Yeah, it says here you need other people to help channel the. So you're going to need, for safety reasons, is one.
Hair deck loaded.
What did it just say?
He's got his app going, so we've got plenty of stuff going on.
Started scanning.
Sorry.
Do you have Stephen Hawking over there?
This is Doc.
So you need one person to handle the pointer and ask the spirit questions. 1 to 3 people who are also touching the pointer. They are focusing the energy but not asking any questions. 1 person to take notes or record the session. This will allow the group to analyze the spirit's answers later. So it looks
Together.
like the ideal...
It just said together.
Together. Because we're both using the Ouija board or using the spirit boxes together.
Together.
So ideally you're going to want to have at least 3 people, okay? What do you have going on your end?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Could you guys hear it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I muted the phone. It said diction, and then it said question.
Yeah.
And then I said, what's your question? And it said, wash began. Never.
Yours is just rambling. You're a talkative guy.
Adult. I need an adult. Stranger danger.
It's probably saying that if you were an adult, you would have started the washer. What, didn't it say something about the washer?
Yeah, it said wash began. Yeah, it's just rambling. It's not saying anything.
Stop.
Scanning stop.
Stop
okay.
it. Stop it, Steven.
Yeah, it's just... It's I don't know how this works.
Damn, dude.
What? So, James, you're never going to guess who just said your name.
Wait, what?
It just says
Spirit
James.
box says James.
Oh my god, dude.
So it said my first name. I'm freaking out, dude.
I swear to God,
He stood up and he starts clapping and yelling, and I look over and it says
it
James.
says James.
We'll take a screenshot of the words that were used throughout the whole session to show that we weren't messing around.
So it said my first and middle name. Has it said any other names?
It said Adam and Ethan.
Do we know any Ethans?
But it's weird because it's saying like together, and then it said his name.
Oh yeah, it said together, and then it said James. All right,
my God,
so
dude.
Keep an eye on the pointer. The pointer is very important. It helped. I feel like we need to just stop talking about the Ouija board, but to talk about this ovulus or whatever. But keep an eye on the pointer. The pointer is very important. It helps the spirits talk with you. Usually it'll move to a number or letter, but sometimes it may start to do other things. Here are things you should watch out for. Pointer starts to move in the alphabet or numbers in sequence. The spirit is counting down. Once it finishes, it can escape through the board. You want to end the session before that happens. So I guess if it starts going 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, it's like go ahead and move to goodbye and be done with it. If the pointer travels to each corner of the board, you have reached an evil spirit. End the session immediately. If the pointer starts to make figure 8s, it means that an evil spirit has taken control of the board. Flip the pointer over and end the session.
Yeah, that's Zozo, right?
Yeah, well, that's what it said. That's like a lot of the experiences people said figure 8s. So yeah. Never let the pointer fall to the floor. This will release the spirit that is moving it. Never leave the pointer on the board once you have finished a session. Always put it back in its bag and store it in the other side of the room. If you see the pointer on the board and no one is using it, flip it over and end the session. Then store the pointer on the opposite side of the room. So if you ever see a Ouija board not being actively used, go ahead and just end the session for whatever careless, reckless spirit talker was using it last. Do everyone a favor. Shut that portal. Know what to ask about, all right? Know what topics to avoid. There are some things that you shouldn't talk about to a Ouija board. Also, read the spirit's replies carefully. If he or she appears to be annoyed by a question, change the subject. In general, you should avoid the following topics: God and religion, your death, Where to find buried treasure. Your name or any of the group members' names.
There's a book where some kids use a Ouija board to find a treasure.
Did it work?
Well, they all died.
Do not seek the treasure.
Scanning stopped.
Seek the treasure. What was that from?
That was cool.
My brother, where art thou?
That's right. When he's in the movie theater. Mm-hmm. All right. Things that you can ask about. What the spirit's hobbies were and what they like to do. Whether or not the spirit always lives in the realm of the living. Where the spirit used to live.
But isn't that kind of getting too religious?
About the realm of the living?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Because then I think that's a little bit more specific. But if you ask about the realm of the living, I mean that's a quantifiable thing. You know what I mean? Like it exists, undoubtedly. You can talk about the spirit's family and home. Here's an important tidbit. Understand that the dead, just like the living, can tell lies. Don't believe everything that a spirit tells you. Don't believe everything that a talking board tells you. Yeah. Be leery of anything that a board tells you. Make sure you are polite and end the session by saying goodbye. Okay? Remember to thank the spirit for his or her time before saying goodbye. Respect the spirits and try not to annoy, anger, or irritate them. So let's make a mental note right now that before we close out your Ovilus, we thank whoever it was and
be polite
and say goodbye. Yeah. Know when to end a session. Sometimes you may need to end the session early, especially if you or any of your friends start to feel strange. When this happens, you need to move the pointer to the word goodbye, flip it upside down, take it off the board, put it in a bag, put it in the other side of the room. You should remain calm at all times. If you start to panic, you may forget what to do. The spirit may also sense it and use it to his or her advantage. If the spirit starts to get angry or swear, apologize and end the session. An angry spirit is a dangerous spirit. No. If a spirit uses your name in any way, it is getting dangerous.
It just said hail.
Guys?
Store the board and pointer properly when done using it.
So according to that, you should store it above your fridge?
Yeah, it looks like he's putting it above his fridge. Keep your board someplace clean. Make sure no one can mess with it. Keep the pointer in a cloth bag. Store it separately from the board. Do not store the pointer on top of the board. You will risk leaving a portal to the spirit world open. So that was a fun how to use. I think we all learned something here, right?
Yeah.
I know.
I learned I'm in a very dangerous situation.
I'm so glad it said your name and not either mine nor Dustin's.
Because they're assholes.
So let's do James a solid.
Yeah.
The spirit is using his name in any way.
Yeah.
Thank you, Spirit, who has joined us today on the show. We're going to let you go. We appreciate you spending time with us. We hope that you have a lovely evening. Perhaps we'll speak again soon.
Yeah.
Did you guys just whisper something?
Yeah, I did.
On the count of three, we'll say goodbye. We'll go 1, 2, 3, goodbye, okay?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, goodbye. All right, go ahead and hang her up.
I just closed out of my app without saying anything.
That's probably why they were messing with you. Well, my
fun. Ghost was saying, my ghost said wash at the beginning, and then after I turned it back on, when I had you guys muted, it said machine. And then I said I don't have a washing machine, and immediately it cut me off and said if. And I was like, well,
it's like, no.
What if I did?
If you have a washing machine, I'm just speculating. You had a really boring ghost. Like your ghost just wanted to talk about chores. Like our ghost was telling us some real stuff, and was actually here with us. Yours is just talking. Yours was the ghost of that lady that used to clean your apartment.
Did she clean it naked?
No, this chick. Turns out it was this trailer park girl who would come by and clean James's apartment.
But how did you?
I don't know. You would just I guess somebody he met on Tinder or something, right? How'd you meet with this little chick? Tinder? Didn't she have 3 kids or something?
Sites. Yeah, she's got 3 kids.
Started scanning.
Stop turning it on and off. What are you doing?
I want to turn mine on back on so badly.
We're done. We already said goodbye. He's gone on to do his thing.
Oh, he's still here, bro.
Well, he can be here, but we're done talking for now. Because the thing, the website told us to...
That was a Ouija board.
But still, it's the same concept, I think.
If you're still down here, knock on the door. Knock. If we hear a knock,
That would have been so freaking scary.
especially if it was on that door.
Yeah.
I'd be right next to you.
So, I mean, now that we know how to use a Ouija board, go forth and use the Ouija board carefully. Make make good choices. Be respectful. Have fun. Don't, I think you have enough information to make good choices,
And if you don't?
Then I will,
Did you know the world was supposed to end Sunday and it didn't?
Was that when Planet X came by? Did you see it?
It was, no, because NASA even had to reply to it. Did you see that? Where NASA's like, look, Planet X is not getting ready to pass us. If it was this close to us, it would be within the distance of Mars, and we would see it. Like, you would actively see this planet during the day if it was going to buzz by us this closely.
Huh. Where did that rumor start?
It was this dude that he said it's the same dude who, like, back when we was making the jokes about having the party, into the world party.
Yeah.
And then that didn't happen. He said he had his calculations wrong. Yeah. It was the same dude.
So he was wrong again. Bless his heart.
Bless his little heart.
I was anxiously awaiting hearing about this, the end of the world or whatever. Never came. Never happened.
Or maybe it did and we don't know it. Maybe we
were talking to somebody on the spirit board.
Guys.
What happened?
It's saying a bunch of random stuff, but the last half of the things were like trouble, phantom, war, paranormal, and killing.
You're tired.
And you're tired.
And you're tired. Hang on, guys. You mean you are? I just corrected the ghost that's threatening war and killing.
Did it say YOUR?
Yeah. Warm now.
It wants you to. This thing is seducing you. You're tired. You're feeling warm.
Please go to bed, James. Come to bed.
Bar. Oh, now it's telling me to go to the bar.
What does it want you? What does this want you to do? What's the story here?
You get pulled over for drinking.
Quartz. Hey, tell me where my debit card is, and I'll go to the bar. I don't know what the lines are up top. Mummy.
Oh, I thought it said money.
No, that's weird though, because no, there's no way.
If I can open it back up.
I bought The Mummy the other day, the movie, and I don't know where it is.
It's probably with your debit card. That's probably what it's telling you.
That's what I was. No, I freaked out because Brianna. I freaked out because I rented a movie the other day too, and from Redbox, and that movie's sitting out in my car in the center console.
What are you doing?
And I thought that maybe it was The Mummy that I rented. Maybe it was telling me that it was in the car in the center console with The Mummy.
Was it good? That movie, The Mummy?
No.
Those.
Cars 3 is good.
All right, come on, Parrot Tech, cough it up. Where's my debit card, man? Stop. Quit playing games with my heart.
Oh, speaking of which, give us a good song for the Ouija board.
Yeah, we need a Ouija board song. What's going on?
Bliss.
Do a duet.
No, I need it. All right, let me see if I can figure something out here.
Thank
Government. All right. You guys ready?
Oh, we're ready.
Hard.
I guess we are doing a duet. Hard. Are you guys getting hard for this? Is that what it's telling me? All right, let me see.
Joe.
Joe. Here we go. I just wrote this song 5 seconds from now. Hope you guys like it. One. Yes, just one song.
It was counting down for you.
I touch ghosts, they tell me least, and other stuff makes no sense. Maybe you'll say something, don't hear one day, but until that day I won't expect it. Until he talks about war and killing me, and mummies and paranormal. I don't know if it might be scary, but I don't care. Cause I'm just gonna shut this off despite the warnings. When I do, I hope it pisses you off, stupid ghost. Just tell me when my cabin comes.
He said victory as I was closing it. Like, as soon as I said stupid ghost.
I thought it was funny because you were swearing at it, and then it said something, and I thought, oh man, I hope it says something like vengeful, like I'm gonna get you while you sleep.
Befriend. Oh, I guess it told me. What?
It's because you wrote it a song. Now it's become your friend.
As soon as I said you stupid ghost, it said victory. And then afterwards it said befriend.
What did it just say?
Now thigh. Thigh.
Huh.
Yeah, I think my ghost is just either drunk or
Your ghost has
dumb.
Tourette's.
The non-cursing kind of threats.
It's like the adorable kind where you're like, ah.
It just said, can hear you.
Rabbit.
Rabbit.
It said can hear
the
you.
non-cursing.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's the cute kind of Tourette's. Funny.
His
Rabbit.
Dustin's just said can hear you. Maybe he's talking to you because he heard those horrible things you were saying.
I can hear what you're saying.
I heard you.
Dick.
You remember I'm the one who said your full name.
Take me.
Take
Take me.
Mine
You
just
stud.
became the ghost. Mine just became the ghost from the Ghost Adventures spoof. That was trying to have sex with the dude.
See, it went two different ways just now because we were talking earlier about how the ghost was trying to seduce you, and then you wrote this song, and then it befriended you, and now it's saying take me. So, like, either it's trying to seduce you, or they're talking to each other now. Like, this ghost over here is like, can hear you, and then this one said take me. Like, come get it. And you want a piece of me?
It just said ahead.
I wish it would say "Take Me On."
No, what you need to do is you need to sing that Aha song back to it. It said, take me on, take on me. What did
Mine
you
just told me
say?
to pay. It said pay.
Huh. Oh, you know what? Yours is probably a hooker because it wanted you to take it, and now it's telling you to pay.
Now it says I need.
And then it says that dope dick.
Oh, I bet you yours is a hooker.
Oh no, dude! It said take me, pay, you need, Abby. That was my first wife's name.
She's
Let's.
from beyond the grave. She's haunting you.
Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, you're
just said
damn right.
silent.
Abby's getting nothing.
Ours just said silent. It sounds like he's succumbed to your angry whore ghost.
Oh my gosh.
I don't remember how this song goes.
Take on me.
How does the intro go?
That's the one, yep.
Art.
Did you just say fart? Oh no, barn. Not as close as I was thinking.
Female.
Female.
Email?
All right, Ghost. You want to take me? Fuck. Fuck, I can't get this.
It just said no saint.
All right, that's enough for the intro.
So we need to say goodbye to our ghost because, well, it just said no saint.
No saint?
Yeah.
Yes,
I get
no.
it.
But remember, it said if we ever thought that we were dealing with an evil spirit, we need to close it out.
But do you think it's
Yeah.
evil?
Well, I think you guys got the bad one. Mine just said peace.
But remember, we said goodbye and then you opened it up again.
It's because I love him.
Whoa. Mine said,
Self.
I peace. Itself.
Okay, how did you die? Why are you a spirit? Enough of the nonsense.
Remember, we gotta be respectful.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean it that way. Talk. Talk. You want to talk?
Mine said talk earlier.
How did you die? Do you know that you're dead?
That's a good one.
Now we're talking to you. This is what you want.
Induce.
Anus?
Ask him how many fingers. quick. We got it on the ropes.
I was gonna ask you guys when you were talking about Ouija boards, and it said sometimes the pointer does other things besides go to numbers and letters.
How many planchets?
How many
Never
pointers?
been touched by a Ouija board. Wonder how many letters it would use.
Mine wants me out apparently. Oh man, I pay the rent
You
here.
just said orb.
Orb.
This thing is definitely picking up its activity. Because it was... And maybe it's because we're talking to it now. Hi.
Upon.
Hey buddy, what do you want from me?
Minimum threshold.
See any
Oh,
words?
never mind.
Nuh-uh.
What we need to do is just open that door real quick, take a picture.
No way. Under no
Maximum
circumstances.
threshold. 15.
You are really superstitious about this crap.
Home. Quantum. Never used. Quiz. Faster.
Press.
About.
It said press.
Where?
Empathy.
Press what?
Jackson.
Jackson. Jackson Storm?
War.
Jackson War.
Density. Cube. 2. Scary. Rail. Glory. Seed.
You're just going
Telepathy.
nuts. You
Haley.
need to tell him to slow down.
You need.
Oh come on, Haley,
You
really?
need help. That's all you can say.
Isabella.
Isabella.
Did yours just say you need
Right.
help?
Learn.
Ours was talking about you earlier. Maybe there's something going on with you, James. You need to be careful.
It said Haley right before that too.
Scratch.
No, it said Haley, you need felt, not help.
Oh.
But the weird thing about that is Haley was the name of the girl that got me in my little predicament.
Industry.
Oh, really?
Immersion?
Screaming.
What's
Yeah.
immersion?
That means to be like, if you go underwater, immersed, like you're
East.
immersion.
What you
Electric.
said.
Is that how he died?
Unit.
Good. Did you drown?
Oil.
Doesn't have to be water. It can be like anything.
Berry.
Were you
Mine
buried
said
alive?
oil as soon as you guys said, did you drown?
It said what?
It just said money. Money.
Emulate. Often.
Money.
He's rubbing it in my face that I don't have any. How do we spur this on? How do we give more energy? What can we do?
Morning.
Tell it to feel free to take energy from the lights or something. Or from,
Party.
well, not from you, because that's a bad idea.
Stop.
Give it permission to take energy from like the computer or the phone or something.
If you need energy in order to talk more,
Cat.
feel free to draw some of the thermal energy from Dustin.
Interest.
I got
Batteries.
thin
Take some of the heat
Zero,
that's radiating
6,
off of us
L,
and utilize it.
It just said hours.
Hours.
It's
Like
Well,
hours,
I'll tell
like,
you right now.
like HOURS.
HOURS.
demon. Run.
Uh-oh.
Did it say
I
demon?
heard
It's a-
demon.
Yeah, it's a demon.
Diabolical.
Diabolical.
How do I give it the proper stuff?
You gotta thank it for its time and say goodbye.
1. Warrant.
All right, thank you for your time today. Greatly appreciate the time
Jasper.
and helping me think places where my debit card could be.
Screw.
I wish we could have had more time, and I wish I could have helped you out.
15.
But thank you and goodbye.
Fine. Stop. Scanning. Stop.
James. Help. Hey, no, listen. This is a testimonial. This is a good thing that we can put on the website about how our article or our story actually helped somebody.
Yeah.
Because James didn't know how to shut it down, didn't know how to say goodbye.
It
And
just said-
we were here.
It just said drag.
Drag. Is that what Dustin does on the weekends?
Don't mess with me, sister.
Hey, girl. All right, what do you use? Ghost hunter tools or something?
Yeah, it's something like that. Let me see.
Yeah, when I typed in Ovulus, there were two of them. There was like the top two was like Paratech was the one that I downloaded, and the other was Ghost Hunter Tools.
Tell you what, tonight I'm gonna watch like a cutesy movie like Zootopia or something to get over this. To get me away from thinking about all this scary stuff. Probably not gonna edit it tonight either. It's too spooky. Anyway, well, I was trying to look it up, but so here's how. For anybody, obviously, who's a little skeptical about this, the app, don't feel bad about being skeptical about this because it obviously is something that you should be very skeptical of. How a spirit box would work in, like, if you had a physical spirit box, is it picks up on electromagnetic, radio frequencies, telephone, like everything. Like it'll pick up on all the various type of frequencies that pass through, and that's supposedly how these spirit boxes work. With the phone, I don't know that a cell phone is able to pick up the same frequencies.
Roger.
Evidently it does, though. I mean, it does. It's doing a very good job of picking up something.
Well, I think.
Why does
Go ahead.
Why does Ghost Hunting Tools want to access my photos, media, and files on my phone?
Are you downloading it right now?
Yeah.
I would just say no. It just said okay.
Is that what it said?
It said violent.
Yours did?
Allow Ghost Hunting Tools to make and manage phone calls?
So I think we need
I
to
kind of
start.
want
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, we're gonna shut ours down.
All right, so thank you for your time again, for talking with us. Thank you for joining us on the show. We appreciate you answering some of our questions and sharing some of your insight. Have a wonderful evening. Goodbye.
Goodbye. You know what's kind of weird about this though? What if that was a different spirit?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we said goodbye to that other
The other
one,
one,
and then you booted it up, and this one was pretty negative.
Yeah. You got a send-off song, Jameis?
Yeah.
Have you ever been touched by a Ouija board? Wonder how many letters it would use.
All right. I put some time and effort into this.
You ready, Dustin? You want to come over and join us?
Yeah.
All right. It's a very special song to me. Very near and dear to my heart. You ready?
Yeah. Been ready.
Okay.
They're just heckling you. If they ask you to play Freebird, they're just heckling you.
I was gonna do a faster one for you guys, but I feel like I should slow it down for the ghosts because they're a little slow. Just kidding. I'm gonna die tonight. I'm gonna suffocate in my sleep tonight, and they're gonna deem it a suicide.
ghosts in my house don't kill me. I'm sorry for what I said. If I offended you, I didn't mean that. Just kidding, I think you're fat. You're such a waste of time. Wouldn't even answer any of my questions. I wouldn't waste $25 on a Ouija board, 'cause you're a waste of time.
Hurtful. These are hurtful words.
I'm sorry that was uncalled for. I don't know what came over me. I think I might have messed with too many Ouija boards, and now I'm possessed. Good thing I learned how to do an exorcism.
You're welcome.
All I need is holy water and the other stuff.
I thought all of a sudden it stopped, and I thought, oh boy, it was murder.
It stopped because Theo decided to walk by and freaking pulled the cord, almost knocked the phone on the floor. All right, let me send him off with something special.
Dear ghosts, please don't kill me now. So sorry for most of what I said to you.
Just most. Huh?
It rhymed with ghosts, so I went with it.
All right. Well, we appreciate you joining us. We wish you the best of luck with the succubus that's going to visit you tonight.
Yeah, well, if her name's Abby, if that's any indication, then it's going to be a terrible night.
Or what was the other chick? Never mind.
Haley.
Haley, that's the one. That's the one.
Isabella. Joe.
You had a lot of chicks' names mentioned, and I guarantee every last one of them was somebody who you at some time or another wronged. Like, they're probably all women you got pregnant and bailed on.
You know, even Joe.
Well, all right, man. Well, thank you for joining us. Best of luck to you tonight. Shoot me a text or whatever if you have anything interesting happen. I'd love to hear about it. I mean, I can't do nothing for you, but
No, well, you can wish me well.
well, I'm doing that now. You know what I'm saying?
I'll keep you posted.
All right.
All right.
Later. Well, tonight was an interesting one, I think.
Yeah, it was really unlike any other show we've ever done.
You like how when James said that he was going to fill in for you, I'm like, oh, it's super simple. All you got to do is at the end, you got to say.
That's why I said nobody replaces me.
Now, I got to say, I mean, we got a lot of things to talk about. The how to do it is one. I think it had a lot of information, and it told us a lot of stuff about how to do it. I'll be honest, none of that, how to use a Ouija. I've personally never used a Ouija board. You have.
And when I did it, we just got it out and we totally broke all the rules.
Yeah. Like, I bet you wish you would have had this show back then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now that I know the proper way to set it up and send it off. 5 Bigfoots.
Yeah, well, okay, so are we talking about the show as a whole, I think, was a 5 Bigfoot. Yeah, up top.
First time we've given ourselves 5 Bigfoots on our own work.
Yeah. Even a little bit, that took a lot of courage, I think, what we did tonight.
Yeah, a lot of courage.
What was really wild was we said goodbye to the first friendly spirit, and then the next thing that happened when you opened it up without my permission
was like bad.
Again was a bad one, and so I think that was interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, 5 overall for the show, but for the how-to, I think that was a pretty good one. I mean, it didn't really say anything that you can say, oh no, they're They're phony. They were just telling you things like recommendations.
Like when we did the
and tips.
how to do it yourself exorcism, and it got kind of goofy.
Yeah, that one. I mean, what we had today was we had with the Ouija board. I mean, you have a very like linear process of how to do it, and there's really no. I mean, it gave you good tips to use. So again, I would personally give that a 5. That website a 5. As far as the Yahoo answers, 1. We won't even address them. But I think I think today was a good show. The coming days we will find out more about what we've unlocked. I'll be sure to.
When you're texting me like, "You son of a bitch,
dude!" There is a 9-foot Wendigo. How I don't know how they crossed, like how that got mixed up. But I guess because we talked about the Wendigo, we talked about the things next week.
The next question is: Are we going to Helltown, Ohio?
And I was just about to bring that up. We had 9 people vote over the last 24 hours. Our 9 fans.
Thank you, 9. Thank you.
We appreciate you, those of you who voted, and I mean, there's still 3 hours left, so, but I don't see a huge rush of people coming in those 3 hours. But
it's so good to know we have 9 fans.
I mean, 9 fans. That's 9 more than we had,
Yes.
2-3 months ago when we started. But yeah, as far the 9 fans, 8 of them said yes. I ran a poll on Twitter that said, should we go to Helltown and camp out? 8 people said yes. 1 person said no. And to that 1 person who said no, thank you for... we debated over what was going through that person's mind and their reason for voting no. And everyone else was saying, oh, it was probably this, that, or the other. And I said, you know what? I think it was they legitimately care about our safety and well-being. I think that's what it was. I think whoever that no voter was, and I could be wrong, it was probably somebody who accidentally clicked no. But I have more faith in our fan base than I think some of our other cohorts on the show, or co-workers here. But yeah, so we are evidently slated to go to. We are now required contractually through Twitter contract
to go to Helltown.
Yeah, so we're gonna go to Helltown. We're gonna try to find this damn Wendigo,
or die trying.
One or the other. Probably the latter.
If we don't come back, don't come looking for us.
Honestly, nobody will notice. They'll be like, "Hey, wasn't there a show? Wasn't there a show about a Bigfoot or something?" No, I don't know. Whatever. That was probably. Oh, you know what? It was Matt Squatch Presents. They're gonna go and find Matt Squatch,
and he'll be like, "Hello, boys.
hello, boys.
I told you not to go looking for that Wendigo."
and Dustin's always singing other people's praises, and I don't give a lot of people credit, and I don't sing a lot of people's praises here on the show as much as I should, because I am a fan of our fans, and I am a fan of our contributors, and I think if you're listening today, go listen to Matt Squatch. He is, I love Matt Squatch's show. I think he's a very knowledgeable guy, and I think you should definitely get out there and listen to him. Show him some support.
And I'll tell you what, he's invited us out there to hunt for Bigfoot. If we're seriously going to do Helltown, we should invite him.
Open invitation right now to Real Matt Squatch Presents. Mr. Matt Squatch, if you would like, we would love to have you. We're going to go up and we're going to try to find this Wendigo.
And who knows,
the Wendigo, I'm sorry.
We might find a Bigfoot.
And we may, I mean, well, we
there
talked
might be a
about
Woodburger. A Woodburger, man.
A wood booger.
It's a wood burger.
It's not a wood burger. It's a wood booger.
Wood booger.
That being said, we talked to Matt Squatch. He said that a Wendigo very possibly could be just a possessed Bigfoot.
Yeah.
By the Wendigo spirit. So, Mr. Matt Squatch, if you would care to join us on our Helltown venture, the invitation is out there. You can take it or leave it, but it's there for you.
If you take it, we promise a lot of Kentucky bourbon.
Yeah. Even though it's in Ohio. Even though we'll be going up to freaking Ohio.
But we're freaking Kentucky. Well, I'm a Kentuckian.
I am a by choice Kentuckian. How's that? See, you are by birth.
Yeah.
So you don't even have the luxury of saying that you're a true Kentuckian because I moved here and said, hey, this is the place. I've lived all over the country, and
makes
then
no
I
sense.
came to Kentucky, and I
makes no
said, "Hey,
sense.
this is it. I love Kentucky more than you do." Arguably.
What's the Kentucky State song?
Have you ever been touched? Wendigo.
Wendigo. That's it.
Until next time.
Follow us on Twitter at You and Me Podcast. Check us on Facebook at You and Me Podcast. Check out our ghost porn website at www.youpandme@bigfoot.com. Send us all your ghost whaler pics to contact at youpandme@bigfoot.com. Don't forget to sacrifice an infant on a Ouija board at 3 a.m. to ya boys. Oh no.
Goodbye.
Why do you have an L. Ron Hubbard book?
Because the Church of Scientology gave it to me.
You know, that's how they get you.